Good evening. Today in this video, we're going to review adding and subtracting with negative numbers. So when adding with negative numbers, you're going to follow this rule. If they are the same signs, you're going to add and keep, different signs subtract, and you're going to keep the sign of the larger one, and you will be exact. Okay, so sing the song with me. There's a song that goes with it. It goes, same signs add and keep, different signs subtract, keep the sign of the larger one, and you'll be exact. Okay, now sing it with me. No, really, don't just stand there. Come sing it with me this time. I can tell if you're not singing with me. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract, keep the sign of the larger one, and you'll be exact. Sing that song every time you add or subtract with negative numbers, and you will be fine. So let's look at these examples. We have -2 minus 3. So remember your rules for subtraction. -2 minus 3 is the same as -2 plus -3, because when you are subtracting, you're really adding the opposite. Now, -2 and -3, they are the same signs, they're both negative. So I'm going to add 2 plus 3 is 5, and I'm going to keep the negative sign. So it's going to be -5. Okay? Let's do a couple more. So 4 minus 1, that one's pretty easy. That's the same as 4 plus -1. 4 plus -1 is just 3. Okay, now this one's a tricky one. You have -3 minus -4. When you get a double negative like that, the first thing you're going to do is change it to an addition problem. So remember, subtracting is just the same as adding the opposite. So -3 minus -4 is just the same as -3 plus 4. You're going to change the signs. Now, -3 plus 4. These are different signs. So because they're different signs, you're going to subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I subtracted, and then you're going to keep the sign of the larger one. My larger number is 4. My larger absolute value is 4, because absolute value of 4 is larger than the absolute value of 3. And because my 4 is positive, my final answer is also going to be positive. Let's look at -5 plus 7. Okay, again, we have different signs, so we're going to subtract. Okay, we're just going to, so your 7 minus 5 is 2. Now, the one with the larger absolute value is the 7. So I'm going to keep the sign of the 7. Since the 7's positive, my final answer is also going to be positive. My next one is -5 minus 6. So -5 minus 6 is the same as -5 plus -6. Now, these both have the same signs. They're both negative. So I'm going to add and keep. 5 plus 6 is 11. Because both of these are negatives, my final answer is also going to be negative. So it's -11. Okay, let's try to find a couple, but let's have it with fractions. So here we have 3/5 minus 7/10. The first thing you want to do is you're going to want to find your LCD. So my LCD in this case is 10. Okay? Now I'm going to rewrite my fractions. I'm going to rewrite 3/5 with the denominator of 10. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6, so 3 over 5 is just 6 over 10. So I have 6 over 10 minus 7 over 10. This is the same as 6 over 10 plus -7 over 10. Now, the first thing I'm going to rewrite it down here. Now I just got to follow my rule for adding and subtracting negative numbers. First thing you got to ask yourself is, are they same signs or different signs? Well, they're different signs. 6 over 10 is positive, but the 7 over 10 is negative. So because they are different signs, you're going to subtract. So you think, well, what's 7 minus 6? 7 minus 6 is just 1. So it's going to be 1 over 10. But I'm not finished yet. I got to figure out what my sign is going to be. So different signs you subtract, but you're going to keep the sign of the one with the larger absolute value. My negative 7 over 10 has a larger absolute value than my 6 over 10. So I'm going to keep the sign of the negative 7 over 10. The negative 7 over 10 is a negative, so my final answer also has to be negative. So it's negative 1/10. Let's do another example. Here we have 4/5 minus 1/3. Okay, first thing I got to do, let's find my LCD. In this case, my LCD is 15. All right, now I got to rewrite my fractions so that they have a 15 in their denominator. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 12 over 15. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. So I have 12 over 15 minus 5 over 15. Now this is just a regular subtraction problem, so I can just do, well, what's 12 minus 5? 12 minus 5 is 7, so my final answer is 7 over 15. Let's just do one more so that way we're absolutely clear on the process. We have negative 1/3 minus 5 over 6. Let's find my LCD. My LCD is 6. Okay, I'm going to rewrite my fractions. Now, if when I'm rewriting my fractions, if one of my fractions is negative, you got to carry down the sign, so don't drop the negative signs. Let's look at my negative 1/3 first. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and then 2 times 1 is 2. So negative 1/3 is the same as negative 2 over 6. Since 5 over 6 already has a denominator of 6, I can just leave that. So it should be negative 2 over 6 minus 5 over 6. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this one as an addition problem. This is equal to negative 2 over 6 plus negative 5 over 6. Because remember, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. Now, these two are same signs. They are both negative. So I'm going to add, so 2 plus 5 is 7. And then so it's going to be 7 over 6. So because they're the same signs, I'm going to add them together and then keep the sign. So because they're both negatives, this one's also going to be negative. So I have negative 7 over 6. Now I can go ahead and rewrite this as a mixed number. I already know my final answer is going to be negative, so I'm just going to write a negative out to the side right here. Now I just have to change my 7 over 6 into a mixed number. When I do that, I get 1 and 1/6. So negative 7 over 6 is the same as negative 1 and 1/6. And that will be my final answer. So just to review, first I found my LCD, rewrote my fractions, rewrote the subtraction problem so it's an addition problem. Then I did my rules. Since they both have the same sign, I'm going to add and keep the sign. So I added 2 plus 5 and I kept the sign, so it's negative 7 over 6. From here, I know that my final answer is going to be negative, so I just have to then rewrite my fraction part as a mixed number. When I do that, I get 1 and 1/6, so it's negative 1 and 1/6. Go ahead and try the last practice problem on your own, and we'll go over in class tomorrow. God bless you and have a good day.